Okay. Very good morning, everyone. So it's nice to meet you all in the next phase of our UPSC preparation, which is obviously mains. There has been a very deep kind of a turmoil that I would say with respect to UPSC preparation, because generally the students, when they enter this preparation, the amount of effort they put for prelims examination, the first level, is not something commensurate with the second level. Of course, there are a few reasons for that. We'll try to explain that. So the point is, to prepare into this UPSC mains examination, you need to understand its importance first. And only after understanding the importance, we will try to see how to approach it. So that will be the agenda for today's session. So when we talk about UPSC examination, and particularly mains, in 2023 prelims examination, there were about 14 lakh students who appeared. 14 lakh students appeared for the prelims examination, and significant portion among them would have been non-serious candidates, those who appeared for the sake of applying for the examination and coming to the day. So leave them out. And many would have been absent also. There have been many absentees. So 14 lakh students officially have been enrolled for prelims examination 2023. But out of this 14 lakhs, about 13,624 cleared the first level and entered into the mains. Who recently returned the mains examination, right? It's 13,624. So look at the level of competition that emerges. Out of this, the 14 lakhs, 13,624 have only got into it. So that is the level of competition that exists. I put a simple math. It comes down to this. Out of every 85 students, only one clears. So there is 84 failures, 83 failures, and 84th clears. And then 84 can't able to clear the prelims, and the 85th clears. So that is a very huge level of competition. I understand the stress that it gives. Because if we don't clear the first level itself, we lose all our motivation, we lose all that energy, and we need to carry ourselves for the one more year. Of course, that is a very difficult thing. I understand it. I empathize with you guys. But we should not lose track of the longer aspect of the preparation. Just because it is highly competitive, you should not miss out what is mains. Of course, there are 14 lakh students. On an average, you can expect any year, 11 lakh to 14 lakh students will appear for prelims examination. So competition is extremely high. That is why everyone is so feverish and very fervent to put all their effort in prelims examination. At least they will get the satisfaction that I cleared prelims. Let me clear prelims first. Then I can move on to mains later. Maybe that will give you a confidence, that will boost the identity of what you hold yourself. But that's not the end of the path, right? Prelims is only, the name itself says preliminary. It is not the end itself. So the point is, because of what I'm stressing here is, because of the competition that exists, most often students don't pay attention to the mains examination, merely because of the sheer size of the competition. But you should not fall into that trap. You should not. You have to have the belief on your efforts and the commitment that you have, so that you prepare for both the prelims, not because you've been driven of fear that you prepare only for the prelims. You should not take that road. You have to give an equal importance to prelims as well as mains. And what is the best time to prepare for mains other than now? So now is the best time. If you're appearing for the next year examination, now is the best time. And that is the reason this module has been designed. So that you don't keep your energy, you only think, you only prepare only for the prelims examination, missing out the mains. Right? So remember this. Of course, it's very stressful, it's very demanding, but also you need to put your effort for mains as well. So it is with this we are moving on to this idea of first giving orientation about this mains examination generally, and a little more focus on paper 3. Okay, that we will try to do. So there is no need to take notes except when I say so. Just listen, but listen with attention, listen with meaning. Why special preparation for mains examination is a must? We know the nature of the examination in mains level is descriptive. But do you think that you can approach mains examination without sufficient preparation? I have seen many students in service who don't have a good amount of time. They very easily clear the prelims, but they barely have 3 or 4 weeks before the mains examination. They coop up whatever they are capable of, and they get into the examination day, D-Day, and they write. Of course, the effort they put in the first examination when they clear, they could not have the same kind of commitment after they join the service. It's extremely difficult. Even if it is difficult for those who enter the service, how about for those who preparing for the first time? So it's not easy. So now, if I ask you, what makes, or if you feel mains examination is easy, of course you feel free to share that also. But if you feel mains examination is difficult, why do you think so? If it's easy also, that's perfectly fine. Maybe that's difference of perspectives and opinions, and I perfectly honor it. But if you feel easy, why? If you feel difficult, why? Yes? Any opinions? Why do you think mains examination could be difficult or it could be easy also? Nama? No ideas. Okay, never mind. Why it is difficult, or why you need to have a special preparation for mains? The reasons are very simple. The total marks in the entire merit list that you can be potentially awarded is, what's the total marks in UPSC examination? 2000? 2025. Out of this 2025, how much marks you can potentially earn from the mains examination? 1750. 1750. 1750. So, and the remaining 275 comes from interview. So, in the entire ranking that you can potentially gain, 1750 marks comes from mains alone. So, in this 1750 marks, 1000 marks is given for 4 GS papers, paper 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 essay paper, 2 optional paper. Okay, 1750 marks. And the remaining 275 marks comes from interview. But out of this 1750 marks, how much you think you can prepare without preparation? So that is why a special preparation for the mains is required, because interview plays only a kind of a boost. Whatever marks that you scored in mains, interview provides a slight boost into the final ranks. But the real way to get into the top 100, or at least IAS, the most coveted service, it is possible only when you get good marks in mains. So a special preparation for mains is important merely because it has a huge weightage in the whole scheme of the examinations, a mere weightage that it has. Second, if you ask, second reason I would say it's because of the assessment of in-depth knowledge. Probably after this is over, we will have a look at what UPSC expects from you. I will go through that. But what UPSC says, particularly in its demand, and what UPSC actually asks in the question paper is slightly different. You will understand it. As I explain it, you will understand it. When you look at the UPSC question papers in the mains level, it requires somewhat a deeper understanding of the subject matter. Take, for example, the 2023 mains examination, paper 2. there was a question. Explain the constitutional perspectives of, let me write it. Explain the constitutional perspectives of gender justice with the help of relevant constitutional provisions and case laws. This was one of the questions asked in 2023 mains examination paper 2. Just give a look at this question. This is one of the 20 questions. Just give a look at this question. Explain the constitutional perspectives of gender justice with the help of relevant constitutional provisions and case laws. Maybe I feel the real intent why UPSC asked this question was because in the month of September, the women reservation bill was passed. So maybe they would like to bring an element of that development, but rather than asking directly about women reservation, they took a tangent from that current affairs. They took a tangent, but they took the area. But without asking exactly from that, they have asked about gender justice. But how can this question be answered? We are not going to discuss about this. We are not going to see what is the answer for that. No, that is not our aim. I'm simply took this question as an example to tell you that an answer to this question cannot be given without having an in-depth knowledge in the subject. So the point is, do not assume, do not imagine that with the reading you give for prelims examination, you can go for the mains and write it. That won't be enough. So what you do for the prelims is totally different from what you do for the mains, because the exam pattern itself is different. In prelims, it's mostly elimination. It's mostly elimination skill that you have to deploy. But in mains, it's not. You need to analyze and you need to present it in a very legible manner, in a very organized manner. So that is not the same thing. So why a special preparation is required is because the questions that are asked in UPSC examination requires a keen analysis of the subject, which can be gained only with an in-depth knowledge. That is why special preparation for the mains is required, which is the time now. Okay. Then the third, why a special preparation is required? The third reason I would say, because there is an element of testing of your writing and communication skills. And a writer cannot be a good writer. Okay. And a writer may not be a good orator, but let me tell you, as you join the service, 90% of your work time has to be allotted to reading files, passing the communication back to the channels, and passing your judgments on the matter that is before you. So that requires an understanding of what comes before you, processing it, and what are the legalities behind that. You have to understand that, you have to apply your mind, and then you have to pass your judgments. That is the reason why UPSC has devised mains examination while selecting these officers. You think, if you appear for NDA, what is the examination pattern? Prelims, interview. And that they will give an emphasis for physical fitness, because that is the nature of the job which is required. So they devised a particular examination modality for that. But if you appear for civil services, there is a different requirement. You don't need to be strong. Physically, you don't need to be strong, but psychologically and emotionally, you have to be a very strong and a balanced person. How that can be tested? That can be tested only by understanding how you think and how you write, because your job profile is just that. You're simply an coveted writer. An IS officer is a coveted writer with a lot of thinking behind it. They cannot take a potential candidate and teach the writing skill. No, it's very difficult. So what they do, they first test who writes well, who thinks well, and then give administrative training. So that is far more easier, right? So this skill, some of you may have naturally developed this writing skill. Some of you may not. We have to assume that you have not prepared for this. For a for a safety perspective, let's say that you have not trained for this, because in our colleges, except in some unique college systems and school systems, writing naturally is not trained. It is not a trait for the students generally. So that is why when we come for the UPSC examination, we fail, we struggle at it. We don't fail, we struggle at it. So understand? So generally, by the way that we undergo our education system, this is slightly at stake. And that is why you need a special preparation for this, which is the time now. So it's not only reading, it's not only having an in-depth knowledge, but how you present the knowledge as answer is equally important. And that needs special preparation. And the next is, the questions that are asked in UPSC is a reflection of real world challenges. For example, there was a question on Shanghai Cooperation Organization. There was a question on International Maritime Organization and how it helps in balancing the maritime trade in the Indian Ocean. These are all the questions in paper 2, 2023 paper 2. So these were the contemporary challenges that our world faces. For example, in paper 3, there was a question on artificial intelligence in clinical diagnosis. So these were real world problems. See, usually when you when I take science and technology, which subject I handle, students will usually ask, what is application of this? Because that is what UPSC focuses, right? So whatever that you learn, what is the application of that? The application of what you learn comes in solving the problems. What is the application of your understanding? The application of your understanding is in solving the problems. So UPSC tries to test it. How do you approach a problem with a problem solving attitude? So most often they take an issue and try to see how you think about it. This may not come naturally to many of us. இது என்ன நடக்கும்னா, see, this is something like this. You know about a topic, you know the content, you know a problem. Because when you come across issues, even the recent LGBTQ, the spectrum issue, it's called a spectrum issue, gender spectrum, it's called a gender spectrum. We know about the content, what the basics of the subject, we know the problem. But most often what happens is, we do not know how to interconnect both. How we interconnect the both and find a balanced solution for that. Because here we are not trained for this. Now, let me say this very frankly, don't take me wrong. We are trained well to read. We are trained well to memorize. But we are not trained to how to connect what you have read and present solutions. That is not usually been done, except for few gifted. So that is the reason why a special preparation is required. You are having no problem with reading. If given a task, if I give you, it's something like this. If I give you 3 pages of a material to you now, okay, I'll ask you, read it. For 30 minutes, you read it. And I come back and ask a question. Still, if I ask a question, from the 3-page content, if I ask you to write it, still you'll have a problem. Sir, what to start? What I understand from the question? How I can conclude? You relate what I'm saying? Can you relate it? So even when the material is given, when a question is asked from that, you may face the difficulty. Why? So the problem here is, it's not that you don't know about it, because you already have the material, you know it. You have the question also, but still there is a difficulty in writing, right? Because this is not something that is inherently present in all of us. It has to be trained, it has to be developed. Remember, this may not be naturally present in many of us. It needs to be trained. You need to know, you need to develop this, because without this, mains examination will be difficult. So that is the reason why a special preparation for the mains is required. You understand what I'm saying? So why a special preparation is required? These are the important reasons. Because of the mere reason that it carries a more marks, then it requires an in-depth knowledge. What you read for the prelims may not be directly applicable. It is applicable, but may not be directly useful for the mains. You need to have the writing and communication skills, and you need to face the problems and present with the solutions. Then preparation for administrative roles. Yes, mains examination is considered to be a preparation for the administrative role, which I have explained earlier. It is always better to train a candidate and give them only the administrative training. When you go to Labasana, after the 4 months of foundation training and you go to the in-service training, you are given training with respect to the service of your choice, the service that you have been given to you. They will not teach you how to write. They will not teach you how to communicate. They won't give you that. They will give you opportunity to write. They won't teach you that. So that is the reason why you need to be prepared for this administrative roles through this examination. Will you say yourself now, okay, let's ask honestly. Do you think you are fit to be an administrator now? Okay, we all aspire to be. But do you think yourself fit to be? No. We need some protruding edges here and there. We need some fillings to be made. We need some gaps to be filled. Okay. There are some sharp edges. We need to touch it up. Like making an idol, you know. Sometimes you have to do touch up here and there to get a final output. So that is what the intention of this mains preparation. That is the intention. So it's like you know like a blacksmith, where things are made according to the requirement, according to the demand. So it is actually a preparation for the administrative role. If you are a good writer, if you are a natural writer, you can present your thoughts well and articulative. Let me say, mains examination is easier. If you naturally don't have that and you feel difficulty, let me say, you have a lot of work to do. It is for those, this kind of courses is very important, which I believe most of us have that. Even when I was in my preparation, I also faced a lot of difficulty. When I have some fluency, when you give me a topic, I can write. Even when I don't know about the topic, I can write 3 or 4 lines with a good introduction. That I can confidently say. Any topic you can go, I can give it. It doesn't come because I don't know. See, remember, you give a topic, I don't know about the topic, but I can write something. So that is what required. Okay, don't think you have to work such a long time. No, you don't have to. Once you understand the crux, that is enough. You don't have to do the same 14 years of my experience with this teaching. You don't have to go through that. It is that 14 years of experience is trying to delivering to you in a very easier way that is understandable to you. Once you understand that, it's very easy. Okay, but this needs to be developed. Moving on. So why it is important, we have seen. Let us see the next reason. What are the common mistakes students do, aspirants do, when preparing for mains examination? What are the common pitfalls? See, why I'm explaining this is because if I ask you to run for a marathon, okay, and after a long, arduous running, if I don't tell you what is the prize awaiting at the end, you won't run. You need to put a value to the effort that you make. Unless you value the effort, most people will not put the hard work. So that is a motivation for them to work, getting IAS. So that is the motivation and the inspiration to put the hard work. If somebody says, no, we are not going to get IAS, you think we'll sit for 1 year, 2 years, for this preparation? You won't. So how much effort that you put in any activity in your life, it all depends upon how much you value it. It is directly proportional to the value ascribed to it. Somebody who's so serious, who's putting their hard work throughout the day, maybe they value it too much. Maybe they have a lot of stakes involved. They have a lot to lose. Probably they don't want to take the chance. You understand what I'm saying? So it is a value that you put to it. The worthiness that you feel will explain how much effort you involve yourself with it. So that is a good thing to start with. But despite that, there are some common mistakes that aspirants do in this mains preparation. Because remember, I'm not talking about prelims anymore. This is particularly about mains examination. Don't say that, sir, mains பத்தி எனக்கு எதுவும் தெரியாது சார், கண்டிப்பா நம்பவே முடியாது. You know, that is even a famous joke. How do you know that a person prepares for UPSC? How do you know that a person prepares for UPSC? How do you know? நீங்களும் ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்றீங்க இல்லையா? How do you know that a person prepares for UPSC? Yeah? Yes? Room பார்த்தா தெரிஞ்சிடும். Yes? By looking at the room, yes? What other indications you think? Yeah? Newspaper. They always go with the newspapers like a Jolna Pai. Okay? Yeah, they slowly become withdrawn. Okay, they become socially excluded. Okay, but of course, all what you said is valid, but that is something very simple thing that happens. Don't worry, they will say themselves. You don't have to ask. If someone is preparing for UPSC, they will declare it to the whole world. So don't say that you don't prepare, you don't know about mains examination, how to do it. எத்தனை வீடியோ பார்த்திருப்பீங்க? How many videos you would have seen? How many articles you would have read? So what do you think are the pitfalls you think in this mains preparation? Sir, படிக்கணுமா? Is it such a reading that I have to do? How can I balance prelims and mains? You understand? So once I put these ideas into your mind, is there any other common problems that comes to mind? The common problems in this phase of mains preparation? See, it need not be correct, ma. Just speak out. Yes? Overthinking about failure. Yes. As I said earlier, this mainly is because we give so much importance to the final reward. Sometimes we are optimistic, then the reward is alluring. Sometimes the reward is, sometimes you are pessimistic and the failure is scary. Positive இருக்கும்போது that attracts us. ரொம்ப pessimistic when you become, that throws into depression. Yes, very true. Yes. And when you enter that phase of your preparation, it may be 2 days, 3 days, or sometimes even 10-20 days, you will get into that zone. It's called as a particular zone. It will be very difficult to come out. That's why I always say, if you enter that zone, the zone of depression, the zone of fearing failure, immediately raise your hand, seek help. Immediately you have to do that, because that is a point of helplessness where you don't know what to do, because everywhere you see the blooms. That's how it. Only an external light, it may be a friend, it may be a well-wisher, it may be a mentor, it may be your parents. Just seek help. Immediately raise your hand and seek help. Don't worry. No, this is sangha, like a Buddhist sangha. This is a sangha for sharing experiences and giving some life lessons. Seek help. Okay, getting into that zone. Never get into that. Maybe allow yourself for 1 or 2 days, not more than that. Okay, immediately press the red alert button. நிறைய பேர் அப்படி உள்ள இருக்கீங்க போல, அப்படியே உள்ள அப்படியே as if you're all deep in the well, ma. I have to put the bucket and draw you out from the well. Come out to the ground. What are the pitfalls you think in the mains preparation? Lack of writing practice. Yes. You don't give writing a sufficient amount of time that it deserves. Yes. Yes. Any other? That's bingo. Yes. Wow. Exactly. Time management. Yes. Lot of things comes at the same time. You know, this is the time test batch starts. This is the time optional also getting intensifying. This is also the time for some CSAT is starting and mains class is going to become. எல்லாத்துக்கும் நடுவுல writing practice வேற. So managing time is extremely important. But remember, I thought of giving kind of a study plan, but it surely won't work because what is study plan is in a very fundamental level subjective exercise. What I would tell you is if you have a problem in planning, please immediately meet your mentor. Don't try to solve it on your own. Meet your mentor, talk to the problem you have, and they will give you a solution. Okay, because this is not something that you are not aware of, because that is an unknown destination. What's going to come up in the prelims examination, what is going to come up in the mains examination, you don't know. You haven't faced it. But the mentor have faced it. They have gone through that. They endured that. So ask them. Once again, when you enter into this depression, seek help. When you don't know that you're not planning or you don't plan adequately, immediately seek help. Meet your mentor. Right? So these are the danger signs, the real pitfalls, exactly, and well articulated. Yes. Any other pitfalls? Yes. Don't know where to start and how to start. We will try to discuss it here. Yes. This is something like this. You know, you are all like a gladiators, like hardened warriors. But fighting whom? Fighting with what? It's something like this. You are ready to read. You are ready to read. But what to read? What to do with that after reading? What I'm going to do with what you have read? Because I don't know how to write answers. Of course, I'm ready to read. So all your guys are very much capable of. That's what I mentioned here. Almost every UPSC aspirant comes with the illusion that reading will give them success. Because that's what our movies have taught us, right? They will be studying till the midnight and their parents will give them coffee. And next scene, they are officers. Getting the love of their life in their academy. No, reading is required, but reading alone will not guarantee you the success. So yes, that is also very important. You understand? So what I want to drive you the point is, don't think that only by reading you get to know how to do the mains. It won't. You won't. Okay, so we'll try to see this. What are the common pitfalls? As one of you clearly pointed out, bingo. Lack of time management, effective time management. So if you think you don't know how to manage your time, as I said earlier, it is during the time you need to balance your prelims plus mains plus optional plus answer writing. So this may be little overwhelming. You may not know, or you may not be very clear how to divide the time. For example, you may be a student who can give only 4 hours of every day, or you may be a student who give maybe 6 hours, 8 hours of every day. That's why I said standardized plan cannot be given. And how much you have read so far? Are you a first timer? Are you a repeater? Are you a veteran? So based on many factors, we will give you a better study plan, what suits you the most. That is why a one size fit all plan will not be a good choice. So when you feel that you have a problem with the time management, please immediately approach a mentor. Always, or otherwise, if you have a proper plan for yourself, once again meet your mentor and verify that will it be working or not, will it be a workable plan or not. Please meet your mentor, particularly for this, because this is where many students don't give importance to, because this is a time when it's like, this is called as end of the honeymoon phase. You know what is called as honeymoon phase? That's called as a twilight zone, that the initial romanticism between the couples will be weaning out in the first 2 3 years, and it is this third year until up to the fifth year most of the conflicts arises. It is usually said once this fifth year is passed, they become couples for life. Most of the life lasting problems emerges in this third and the fifth year. நீங்க அந்த ஃபேஸ்ல தான் இருக்கீங்க, because you have joined about 4 5 months before. It was lot of enthusiasm, lot of energy. I'm an aspirant. Almost 99% IAS. You already became, only 1% is remaining. 99% are already officers. But this is a time where sometimes it hits the reality. How it is? It's a reality. Test batches. We get into the test batches. Sometimes your preparation is tested, your hard work is tested, and after February March, you get into fervent phase where you are running like an sprint, like Usain Bolt, to cover as much as possible. That's a great opportunity time. But the point is, from this October until up to February, what you're going to do is very crucial. This is what I say, the end of the honeymoon phase. So this is very crucial to manage your time in this, because what you do here is like sowing seeds for the next attempt. You use it well, you are well placed to face the next exam. You squander it, it's going to be little difficult. Okay, so time management is very important. Those who don't have the plan, or those who already have the plan, meet your mentor. Then, as once again, one among you have mentioned inadequate answer writing practice. Yes, whether people write answer or not, that itself is a big question. Then why the inadequate comes? Even writing itself is a big problem. Then how the inadequate comes? See, please remember, reading alone is a plan to failure in mains. இதுக்கு முன்னாடிலாம் சொல்லிட்டு இருந்தேன். I was merely saying about it. Now I'm giving it in statement. Mark this word. If you only read without adequate writing practice, if you go to, even if you clear the prelims, you get into the mains, you will really know what I'm saying here. So unless you have an adequate writing practice, getting out of 1715 marks, how much you have to get into the top service, the top 100 ranks? 50 to 55% guys. It's not two Himalayan tasks that I'm talking about. Out of the 1750, something between 860, 850 to about 910 is good enough. Please come. You have to get only 50 to 55% mark. That is good enough. But getting that itself, most often you get much of your chunk from optional paper. The much of the marks that they get in mains, most of it is contributed by the optional paper, because the reason why? In your total marks in mains examination, many students, much is given by the optional but not the GS. You know the reason why? Is it because GS papers are tough? It's because you give so much attention to the optional. As simple as that. There is nothing like a secret there. Because obviously you are so much scared about this 500 marks in optional that the 1000 marks in GS is almost forgot. Because this is something like a common trend. GS is considered to be low scoring because the amount of effort you put is not balanced. But it's okay as long as you get into the top ranks. Why do I care? No problem. It doesn't matter, It usually says all is justified in love and war. Who cares whether I care for GS mode or optional mode? The point is you have to get into the top service. But if you're a person who want to have a balanced approach, you need to have this answer writing practice. Because you do this for optional paper a lot, you usually get good marks. Because you don't do this for GS, you don't get it well. Understand? So this is very important, which most students don't do. Second most common pitfall. And the next one is failure to revise. Failure to revise. In fact, there is one concept called as forgetting curve. Forgetting curve given by the German psychologist Hellman. Given by Hellman. So according to this, there is a rapid decay of memory within the first few days of learning it. This is what he has called as forgetting curve. That there is a rapid decay of memory in the first few days of learning it. That is why when you read something new, it seems that you got it, you grasped it. But you see in the next week, it all vanished into thin air, as if it never existed. And this is something that is very troublesome for UPSC preparation, because every time you're reading new, either in terms of current affairs or new subject or new areas, you are exposed to new information constantly. You are bombarded with information regularly. So it is in this context, revision becomes very important. Probably about 7 years back, I'm saying about before 2015-16, a lot of students were taking notes. Notes taking was something so crucial for the UPSC preparation, but now students, they usually feel, aspirants usually feel that a lot of material is available. Okay, so the minimum writing practice you have in terms of notes taking have also gone out of existence now. Now we looking for ready-made materials. The notes taking and the writing exercise kuda illama irukku ipo. Very less people take notes nowadays. So please understand, நீங்க notes எடுத்தீங்கன்னா there is a high probability that you will revise it. High probability. But now, if that is also now becoming very less practice among the students, revising become important in this time of information overload. So much of content available to you, unless you revise, there is a huge, and in fact it's called a steep forgetting curve. So remember, unless you revise, it is not really going to help you in the examination. It is not going to help you in the examination. So remember, when you prepare this time management, you need to remember to integrate the revision plan also. That's why I said you have to meet a mentor to get a full idea of how to approach it and how to do it. Then the next is ignoring previous year question papers. How many of you have seen previous year? Previous year means I'm talking about 2023 mains or 2022 mains paper. How many of you have seen that? Enama? Yes, you've seen that? Okay. You've seen that? Anybody else? Okay, good. You've seen that? Okay. You've seen that, right? Can you please tell me why you have to see the question paper? Yes. Is it familiar topic? Very good. Yes, that's very natural. It is a good thing. Anything else? Okay. After seeing the question paper, what you thought? Yes, you went to? You went into depression. Okay. That's very honest. Nice. Yes? where you need to give weightage. Okay. See, that's a very good thing, but that's what we are going to discuss in the further slides. Um, we are not going to practice Article 14 in UPSC preparation. புரியுதுங்களா? We are not going to apply Article 14. We are going to go with discriminatory practice, the preparation which is tailored to the places where UPSC focuses, to the places where UPSC plays with our mind and plays with our emotions. We are going to understand that. So for that, you need to have a look at the previous year question papers. That's absolutely must. See, remember, this happens in 3 stages. First, UPSC gives you a syllabus. Syllabus of from where the questions will be asked. Then based on the syllabus, you have some material to read. And then hoping that that material will cover that syllabus. Remember, syllabus you have given by the UPSC. Based on the syllabus, you have a material which covers that syllabus, and UPSC asks questions. Now you hope that because syllabus is known to you and based on that you have the material, this will help you to clear the question. This natural flow chart, you understand? This is how the whole the movement happens. But the point is, இப்படி போயிட்டு வர்றதுக்கு பதிலா, if your preparation goes in this way, see, remember, here, then your question is answered here. Now other than that, if you go in this way, you have the syllabus, then you see this question, last year questions. Now this, through the prism of question, you look at the syllabus. Don't look at the syllabus from your content, from your material. புரியுதா உங்களுக்கு? Now that will give you a lot of information that we are going to discuss. What is that you can gain? We are going to discuss that. So for this, you need to have analyze previous year question papers. Out of the 4 GS papers, I will do it for paper 3 in the session. You learn it. If there is anything to elaborate further, or you want to more explanation on that, I will also explain it. But once you understand that, make sure that you repeat the same thing for paper 1, paper 2 and paper 4. That's more like a homework for you guys, because everything is spoon fed. Okay, you become like a lamb, a mere lamb, but you should become like a tiger. You should be like a tiger, ferocious tiger who can handle on your own. You don't want to be fed, you have to hunt. Okay, you have to be predator, you have to hunt for yourself. You will be taught how to hunt. So for the remaining 3 papers, you have to do it. So paper 3, we will do that exercise, how to connect question paper to the syllabus, and through that, how can we understand it. Okay, good. Then it continues. It doesn't end. There are so many pitfalls. It continues. Okay. So next, common pitfalls. Incomplete syllabus coverage. How many of you accept this? Of course, you understand the previous year question paper and then you go through the syllabus, but still there are certain parts of the syllabus that is not covered at all. Anybody can give an example for this? You know, art and culture in paper 1? That is the part where many aspirants usually skip a lot. Even though that is kind of scoring, I have seen many students who skip it. When you come to paper 3, there is a topic called as infrastructure, port, railways, roadways. Students usually skip it. When you come to paper 3, internal security topic, there is a topic called as various security agencies and their mandate. That's one part of the paper 3. Students skip it. You understand? ஒவ்வொரு இடத்துலயும் நம்ம வச்சிருக்கோம் இதை விட போறோம் அப்படின்னு. But remember, this incomplete coverage of the syllabus will hurt you when you least expect it. When you least expect, நம்ம அப்பதான் விடுவோம், கரெக்டாக அந்த இடம் தான் கொஷின் கேட்டு வைப்பான். UPSC always has this kind of, whether we call it as a bad luck or not, that usually happens. It is exactly where you leave or we don't prepare, question exactly comes in that. Even test batch பார்த்திருப்பீங்க, even in a prelims test batch, isn't it? You may leave something that's exactly 3 or 4 questions pops up. So don't do that. Incomplete syllabus coverage is another folly that you guys do. You guys have enough time. At least have the basics, the background, and the present status of every topic given in the syllabus. Just these three dimensions. It's basics, the background, and the present status. Just this basic information is required for the entire syllabus. There are other areas that you go deeper, but for areas where you feel you have to skip, I cannot force you, right? When you decide to skip, it cannot be forced. But let me tell you, don't skip any topics. At least have this minimum information that if a question comes, you will be in a position to handle that for any exigency that may emerge. So don't leave the syllabus uncovered. This is another common pitfall usually aspirants faces. Okay, can you guys tell me what were the common pitfall, usual mistakes students do? What we have discussed so far? Inability to properly manage our time. Okay, நல்ல கதை கேக்குறீங்கப்பா. Yes, inadequate writing practice, ignoring previous year question paper, failure to revise. Good. So thanks for that. Then next is not adapting to exam conditions. What I am saying here is not adapting to exam conditions is, see, this is equally true for prelims as well as mains. In prelims examination, you have 2 hours, you have 100 questions. In mains examination, you have 3 hours, 20 questions. If we take the word count and the time available for you, 10 mark question, you have 15 mark question. 10 mark question on an average has to be completed within 6 to 7 minutes. 15 mark question has to be, each 15 mark question has to be completed within 10 to 11 minutes. Remember, 10 mark question, 6 to 7 minutes, 15 mark question, 10 to 11 minutes. That totally sums up the 3 hours, 180 minutes you have. How many times you are aware of this and train according to that? Let's say you are a sprinter training for Olympic 100-meter sprint, and you know that the almost everyone on an average cross the finish line, let's say by about 5 seconds. You should know. Then you have to train in such a way that you reach within that at least average. Whether you clear it or not in 4 seconds or 4.5 doesn't matter. You have to train in such a way that you fall within the time zone, so that you don't lag behind, you are not left behind. So always be aware of this time that each question requires. Initially, when you practice writing answers, initially you may take 15 minutes because that's a time that you start in the beginning. One question, if you take, it may take 15 minutes, don't worry about it. But as you progress, as you do daily, it will surely come down. The ideal time is 6 to 7 minutes. That is the goal you have. In terms of mains marks, I told you the goal is, the kind of marks you have to get in mains is 50 to 55%. That is a goal. You know what? That is in fact the same goal. It's the same for prelims also. You get 50 to 55% prelims, you clear. You are above the cutoff. The same for mains also. You don't have to know all the 100 questions. You have to know enough to clear this 50 to 55%. That is enough. And that's the same true for mains also. And for that, you need to know how to adapt to the exam conditions. In exam conditions, you will be having paper 1, paper 2 in the morning and the afternoon sessions, 3 hours each. Let me tell you, you will be like a squeezed cloth. After all the battering and the washing, if somebody squeeze you, you will feel that. I experienced it. It's like you will be squeezed for that. It will be so, I don't know. You are sitting there in the hall, you are writing and writing, nothing else. but you feel so tired as if you worked for 3 continuous days. It's so mental exertion that shown its symptoms in physical level also. And no, you don't have time to think about it. Next day you have 2 more papers. Rinse and repeat, it continues. அது முடிச்ச உடனே பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஒரு 7-8 days you will be having time for pubad. Sorry, pubad, my option came. Optional paper, you have the time for that. So remember, you need to prepare for this. You may write 1 or 2 questions now, thinking that you are going good. No, you need to mentally adapt to this timeline. So that is why you should train not only to write daily 1 question or 2 question. You have to train to write lengthy sessions, at least 1.5 hours. I have seen many students, friends. நான் இதே சொல்றேன்னா காரணம் இருக்கு. There's a reason why I'm saying that. We all listen to it, but there is a reason why God has given 2 years. Want to enter, want to leave it out. So that's the reason. But don't fall into the trap more. Daily எழுதுறது, அதாவது என்னன்னா writing at least every day is good enough, is good, but better is something that you do a kind of a simulation of examination hall. At least 125 marks, that's what we have designed. You'll be given questions every day. At the end of the week, we will try to simulate it for 125 marks in 1.5 hours. The sad thing is, I don't know, many students don't turn up for that. Because of course there will be a lot of commitments. You have next day, you may having test batch, you may be having other things to follow up. But this 1.5 hours is very crucial. Do not skip it. Don't ever skip it, because that is going to prepare you for the exam conditions. Can you sit there for 1.5 hours writing 10 questions? Do you have that physical and the mental stamina to go through the process? You do it regularly till the batch goes, you will come out well. There will be a lot of inclination to skip out. There will be a lot of things that your mind will say, come on, I will go for the next week. We'll skip this. It's not very important. But don't fall prey to those tendencies that your mind throws, because it is usually said by psychologists, even spiritual masters, that your mind is the best servant, but it's a worst master. Your mind is your best servant, provided you are the master of it. But you give control to the mind, you have fallen to astray. It is a worst master. But sadly, mind is actually master in many of our life activities. But it's a worst master. It's a good servant. You make it a servant, it will do wonders for you. But on the magic, people don't have that hold on it. Those who have a hold on it, they are successful persons. So remember, these are the simple things that gives you control over that. Remember, let me tell you, when you start to succeed, okay, let me tell you one simple indication that you are inching towards success. This is one indication I'll tell you. When you start doing what your mind says don't do, I'm telling you, that is your first inch towards success. உங்க மனசு சொல்லும், பண்ணாதீங்க, வேணாம், இது வேணாம், எதுக்கு, இது தேவையில்லை, இது வேணாம், முக்கியம் இல்லை, இது வேணாம், இது ரொம்ப இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் இல்லை. Whenever your mind says something and you know but it is good, and you still resist the temptations of the mind, you resist it and you continue doing it, that is an indication of success. The more you do it, the more it becomes a practice, and more you practice it, your mind will become a servant. It doesn't command you anymore. It doesn't command you. Most often we are under its command. Don't do that. And last but not the least, failure to seek guidance. Many there is even a famous joke among the about the UPSC aspirants. What's the difference between a vampire and an UPSC student? You know the difference between vampire and the UPSC student? Vampire sucks blood only at the night. But dark humor, pa. They are known for their ability to extract things from all around us. It's a kind of an allegory to that. Vampires suck blood only at night. For UPSC student aspirant, every day. You have to be like that. Nothing wrong with this. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? You need to become efficient at it. You need to extract. What is wrong in extracting good things from your friends, from your mentor? What's wrong in that? But we do the inverse. We extract bad things from our friends. Right? So nothing wrong with that. So please extract. But the problem is, this is not usually sought after. They will come for first meet. Almost 50-40% will drop down like a flies. The remaining few will continue for 3-4 sessions. They also drop down, and lastly will be like an abandoned fish market. Yara vangappa, we are selling the fish. Somebody come and buy update. It comes to that level. I understand that's how our mind works, ma. I know. I empathize with you guys. I know that usually happens. Not only for you guys, I'm telling you, that happened with most. But you need to fight these tendencies. That's why I said you make your mind your servant, not the master. So you make sure that you meet your mentors regularly, be in constant touch, become a human vampire. Human vampire for knowledge, human vampire for success. Nothing wrong with that. What's wrong? In fact, we want you all to be like that. Most of us, we feel kind of down not because you're coming and kind of asking us for help. We are feeling sorry because you're not coming, right? So please use the help that you guys need. Initially, see, I'm not saying that everyone will be suitable. There are some mentors, usually we'll fix the mentors, but we'll also give the flexibility where you feel more kind of listening to. There will be some who will be more attuned to your frequencies. You can easily listen. That we will arrange for that. But the problem is, once you fix a mentor, it's like a guru. You cannot keep switching your gurus, right? So fix one guru, fix one mentor, stick to what they say. Let me tell you, success is very near. So don't fail to seek guidance. Very important. Very last but not the least, very important. So next, I told you that in-depth understanding of information is required. I told you, right? But let's see what UPSC have said in the notification. The main examination is intended to assess the overall intellectual trait and depth of understanding of candidates rather than merely the range of that information and memory. So this is what they say, what they expect in mains examination. So they say, it is intended to assess the overall intellectual trait and depth of understanding of candidates rather than merely the range of their information and memory. What UPSC asks you, what we think we have to do. We try to gulp information as if you're thirsty of knowledge. Most of the times, we become, having thirsty for knowledge is nothing wrong, but you become greedy of knowledge. Roomல போய் பார்த்தா அவ்வளோ மேகசின்ஸ், அவ்வளோ புக் இருக்கும். மொபைல் ஃபோன் ஓப்பன் பண்ணா so much of downloaded materials. You see your laptop, so much of downloaded things. But how many times you have completed it fully? We become greedy of knowledge because collecting is easy, reading is difficult. Understanding is furthermore difficult. So we try to go with easy thing, collecting information. That gives you a false illusion that you have everything what you need. And a fine day will come where you will read. Remember, that fine day will never come. That fine day will never come. So they are simply asking you to assess it. So what the examination does, mains examination does, see, the point, you need to know this first. What kind of questions they ask, what kind of answers they expect from you. They don't expect information from you in the answers. அவங்க என்ன எக்ஸ்பெக்ட் பண்றாங்கன்றத I want to tell you guys. You all see the syllabus for paper 1, paper 2, but have you paid attention to this? What kind of answers that they want? And from the answers, what they test you? They test your traits. Trait. What a trait is? What a trait is? Yes? Personality. Trait is an expression of the personality or the character of a person. For example, there will be some among us. என்ன சொல்லு? India Pakistan match. Pakistan தான் win பண்ணும். No, they always try to find the worst in everything. They always try to find the bad in everything that happens around them. The most pessimistic. You ask them to write something that reflects the trait. The way they choose the words, the way they present their ideas. You think you only writing the answer. Let me tell you the secret. You think you're only writing the answer, but no. A good mentor will see the answer, will get into your mind, and will say, what were you thinking at that time? A mentor will say, this understanding of the question is wrong. They will say, you're thinking of this question in this direction is wrong. So, இதே தான் UPSC பண்ணாங்க. They want to see a balanced person through the answers. So, they are testing that. That is why it is commonly said, when you write mains answers, don't write left to right to center எங்கேயும் போவாதீங்க. I'm talking about leftist to rightist. Okay, don't be too capitalistic tendencies or don't be too much of communist or socialistic. Approach neocentric pathway. Okay, so ஏன் அப்படி சொல்றாங்க? Don't take negative, extremely negative opinions. Why? Because that is an expression of your trait that shows who you are. The answer is a reflection of who you are. திரும்பவும் சொல்றேன், நீங்க எழுதுற ஆன்சர் மட்டும் கிடையாது. It is you through the words. You are expressed through the words. அதனால தான் நீங்க எழுதுற ரைட்டிங் ஸ்டைலை மாத்துறது ரொம்ப கஷ்டம். ஏன்னா it is changing your personality. When you write an answer, you have to be given a lot of session. Mentor will ask you, either you have to change this, you have to change your thinking like this. உட்காரும் போது நல்லா புரியும். Yes sir, I understand sir. Next question I'll write it. When you go and write, the old genie comes out and the whole thing continues again. Because what you write is in fact, and the question unga reflection பார்க்கறீங்க. You see you in the problem and you write an answer. That's how clearly UPSC easily can eliminate extremist personalities through this mains examination. So that's what they test, not only information and memory. So please understand this. So you need to have an idea what UPSC expects first. This is the first expectation. The second expectation, too many, but it's okay. It's very simple. They will be able to answer them without any specialized study. Big lie. Big lie. If a student says, an UPSC aspirant says, I read for 18 hours every day. What do you think? If an UPSC aspirant says, I'm reading for 18 hours, உங்க மைண்ட் எங்க போகுதுன்னு தெரியும். 18 divided by 6 போட்டா எவ்வளோ? அதுதான் நம்ம டைம். Divided by 4 போட்டா எவ்வளோ? No. Just say that if an UPSC aspirant reads for 18 hours, what do you think? Don't think anything. Is a liar. பொய் சொல்றாங்க, அப்பட்டமான பச்சை பொய். Not possible at all. ஆனா அதுக்காக you cannot go to examination without study also. See, that extremes should be avoided. They say we'll be able to answer. UPSC சொல்றாங்க, நாம அதை நம்பணுமா? We'll be able to answer them without any specialized study. But no, you have to make an informed study about this paper 1, paper 2, paper 3, paper 4. Otherwise you cannot answer that. The question, constitutional provisions of gender justice and the case law. How can you just give without any specialized study? You need to have a specialized study. But then what they say, the questions will be such as to test a candidate's general awareness of a variety of subjects. So they are testing your general awareness. Then ability to analyze and take a view on conflicting socio-economic goals, objectives, and demands. This is what they expect in your answers. So what UPSC expects now? Ability to analyze and take a view on conflicting socio-economic goals. For example, 2022 mains examination, there was a question in Sabarimala. Because there is on the one hand you have religious rights, on the other hand you have gender justice, social justice. What is going to take a view on that? You cannot come up with this or that. You have to come up with a clear, concise opinion on the matter. So that is what they try to test you. So what is your view on conflicting? Not only they didn't use this word without a purpose. There is a purpose. Conflicting socio-economic goals, objectives, and demands, and must give relevant. Bringing relevant answers is very difficult. Remember, this is the most important thing that every one of you should focus on. You write answers. Given your dedication, given your commitment, you all write answers. But making it relevant is the real test of this practice. Meaningful and succinct answers. So this is what actually UPSC asks. And they come for optional subject. What is the level of the toughness of the question? They are asking about level higher than the bachelor's degree and lower than the master's degree. So that is the level of question they ask in the optional subject. So this is where they try to give you what actually the quality of the answer that they expect. It has to be relevant, it has to be meaningful, it has to be succinct, means within the word limit. See, let me tell you another common myth. In UPSC paper 1 until up to paper 4, there is something called as 150 words, 250 words answers, right? 150 words doesn't mean that you have to write only 150 words. It doesn't also mean that you can not write 180 words or 200 words. The simple logic is you have to give a meaningful answer. If you can conclude your answer within 120 words, that's well and good. It's not like because you are short of 30 words that your marks will be detected. No. Or just because you exceeded 30 words that you will be deducted the marks. But the point is when you exceed 30 words for each question, you won't have the time to complete the paper. So that will be the trap we put ourselves in. So that's why ideally you have to give succinct answers, means within the word limit as much as possible. Now answer writing up, we will talk with you guys. Word limit la eppadi train pannanum, we'll give you that. Now remember, it has to be relevant, meaningful, and succinct answers. So this is what UPSC has given to us in this notification. Remember this. This is the end goal of your answer writing practice as given by the UPSC. Now mains preparation tips. Let us go a little quicker. So now the next question comes. Okay, sir, how I can prepare? One of you say, what is the common pitfalls? I don't know how to prepare. I'm ready to read. I'm ready to put my hard work, but I don't know how to do it. So let's try to go through the steps. What someone who is appearing mains examination for the first time, what is best thing to do? We'll try to see that. So the first thing is familiarizing yourself with the syllabus. Syllabus familiarization. In fact, I still remember very clearly that an important advice I've given to this batch in the first classes, mains syllabus. You need to take the main syllabus and you need to make sure that you become so familiarized to such a level that you read any news, the newspaper, any information on the newspaper, you can immediately connect it to the topics relevant in the syllabus. Sometimes a single news can be connected to paper 1, can be connected to paper 2, can be connected to paper 3. You need to do this spontaneously. You have to do spontaneously. It's not like very mechanical, guys. Okay, a question comes about gender empowerment. No, gender empowerment can be tackled in paper 2. It can be tackled also in paper 1, how historically it was there in our country before independence and after independence. It can also be connected to paper 3 and as well as paper 4. புரியுதா உங்களுக்கு? So இது எப்படி வரும் அப்படின்னா, how this can come? Okay sir, subject topic is one topic. Can you connect it to paper 1? Can you connect it to paper 2? Can you connect it to paper 3? And can you do it for paper 4? You need to do this. Because only by doing this, you can provide a multi-dimensional answer when you write. இது எப்படி நடக்கும்னா, this can happen only when you familiarize yourself with the syllabus. This is what Sun Tzu says. You should know your enemy. If you know yourself, Sun Tzu, you know Sun Tzu? The author of a famous book, Art of War is. Who said that? You know that? What's about enemy that he said? Yes. Exactly, yes. Thank you for that. What he said, Sun Tzu, he says that if you know yourself and your enemy, you need not fear 100 battles. If you know yourself but not the enemy, for every victory you have to suffer a defeat. If you don't know yourself, if you don't know neither the enemy nor yourself, you are doomed. Here, our enemy is UPSC, and the weapon they have is syllabus. So unless you familiarize yourself UPSC through syllabus, you are not in any way to understand what is a fight they are going to have with you. UPSC is trying to fight and defeat you in the examination, right? அவங்களோட aim என்ன தெரியுமா? To defeat you. What is the success? You have to come out killing the demon, killing the UPSC. That's what our goal is. But that can happen only when you first familiarize yourself with the syllabus. So what is the first step, sir? I'm ready to do mains preparation. What is the first thing I have to do? Download all the 4 GS mains papers, stick it or have it as a small file and just read it as a material at least twice. Every paper syllabus, you read it 2 times every day. First thing, before you reading any mains material, you have to read the syllabus first. Even when you have read it before, even when you think that you are a veteran, please do it again. It doesn't hurt. It won't take more than 5 minutes. Do it once in the morning, do it once in the evening. But the more you do it, you will understand the invisible benefit that it gives you. You can instantly connect one to multiple papers, even to essay. Not only paper 1, 2, 3 and 4 and also to essay. This cross connectivity and applying one to many can happen only when you familiarize yourself. So this is the first thing I will say. Sir, how should I prepare for the mains examination? Take a printout of the main syllabus and go through it each 2 times in a day. Second, you have to analyze previous year question papers. But how to do it? I'm going to tell you that. But I'm going to say that for only one paper. For the remaining 3 papers, you have to do it on your own and you come back and meet your mentor and ask them how to do it. So this is more like a homework. இப்போ நோட்ஸ் எடுக்கல இல்லையா? இப்போ ரூம் போயிட்டு நோட்ஸ் எடு. You do this homework. The point என்ன தெரியுமாங்க? It is usually said, you learn by doing, not by reading. It is usually said that. Schools, I saw a quote in actually a preschool. You learn by doing. That's why practical learning is most emphasized in the present day government schools even. Not only the private schools, but government schools, because you learn a lot by doing. இப்போ நீங்க கேக்குறீங்க, நீங்க கேட்டிருக்கீங்க. I wish and I pray that you retain what I try to convey to you. But you learn much more and much deeper if you do it. So please listen and try to repeat what I am trying to do here for the other 3 papers. You learn better. So second thing is analyze previous year question papers. Try to find the zones. That's the second step you have to do. Then plan your preparation. You are here as an aspirant. You have to go there, which is IAS, you are here. Your journey is here. How many of you has put a plan, kind of monthly goals, until up to May of next year? A monthly plan of what to complete in October. I'm not asking you daily plan. See, daily plan putting in a, that's my opinion, it's going to fail. Because micromanagement is something that a human don't want. That is why micromanagement is bound to fail in any endeavor. In any endeavor, even in many organizations, leaders are to be given freedom to their subordinates. Subordinates should have the freedom of choice to do the task in their own comfortable time, but within the time period. You're not working in the morning, fine, take a break, but complete it by tonight. So in the freedom, that's what human mind craves for. That is what the organizations are moving in the recent times. They don't want a strict observation of time and the responsibilities. They give a target, they give you the timeline, they ask you, finish it in the own way, in your own style. But the point is, don't ever go for daily plan. Have a monthly plan. Sometimes 1 or 2 days you may not do it. Na sonna liya, zone we go into zones. Then you come back. Sometimes you make up the lost time. So that at the end of the month, you somehow adhere to the plan that you have devised. That is more possible. That is more amenable. But how many of you have the monthly plan? You have to. You have to. You need to have, for example, as simple as that. Let's say your optional paper is having, let's say, 15 chapters in paper 1. Let's say. I'm not asking you to have grand goal. In the 15 chapters in paper 1, let's say October, November, December, January, February. Because it is from February, you will switch on to next gear for prelims. You will stop all the mains related efforts, you go to the prelims. But until up to February, I'm going to complete, let's say, 9 chapters. I'm not asking you to complete. Okay, let me be even more clear. Sir, I'm going to complete only 5 chapters in paper 1. No problem, but complete it. Plan for it and complete it. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not asking you to complete any one particular paper, but at least do you have an idea where you are going to be in the next 1 month? Where you are going to be in the next month? So, mains, paper 1, paper 2, paper 3, paper 4. Have an idea, have a goal. How much I'm going to cover in each month? The good thing about mains classes, this is usually taken care of. Because in the form of classes, it's covered. You strictly adhere to the classes and you follow the routine given in the class. Your plan is naturally goes along with the class. But if you are one who is not joining the class, then you need to have a plan. Okay? So those who are our students and who join the main session, no problem. Okay? You just follow what the class is giving you, because this journey requires planning. It requires planning. You cannot be spontaneous in your preparation, guys. I've seen many students who are spontaneous. இன்னைக்கு என்ன படிக்கலாம்? Okay, spontaneous, they take one. Evening என்ன படிக்கலாம்? Let it be spontaneous. It won't help you. It has to be prepared spontaneity. You have to be spontaneous, but the spontaneous has to be designed. So the next is have a plan. What is the first thing you should do? Familiar with the syllabus. The first and the most important thing. Familiarize yourself with whom you are facing. Second, analyze the previous year questions. Third, prepare a plan, a work schedule till the May of next year. Then comes the actual thing, doing things. Once you do this, once you make a plan, what's the next thing? Execution. But if I tell you one thing that every aspirant, at least a serious aspirant, doing is this, they will do without a doubt. This is one thing that students do. But point is, they skip stage 1, 2, and 3. They jump straight into the stage 3. முதல் நாள்ல இருந்து புக் எடுத்து படிக்கிறோம். First day itself we take the book and we read. No, that's not a good thing. That won't help much. So this usually is something that doesn't need much emphasis. You guys are doing it well. If you're a serious and a committed student, this is taken care of. The actual act of implementation, your plan. Then comes integration of writing. So you read, no? Why are you reading? You're reading not because you want to know, because you have to write answers from that. I already told you, reading is different, writing is different. It's a two different exercises. And unless you train yourself for that, it won't come spontaneously, it won't come naturally to you. So you need to integrate writing and revision in your daily schedule. You prepare the schedule second. I told you prepare the schedule. You need to keep in mind the revision and the writing. Ideally, I will say at least one question every day. When you prepare a plan, I will say incorporate at least one question every day. I'll best say one question from GS, one from optional paper. So this will be more ideal choice, I will say, but you have to do it daily. And the weekly, you will be, those who join the classes, mains classes, you will be given a weekly test. So that is taken care of. But this is one thing that many does not do. One thing everybody does is reading. The one thing which not many don't do is integration of writing and revising. But this also need to be integrated. For example, usually this can be designed on Fridays, on Saturdays. Usually the revision, you can ensure that whatever that you have covered for the whole week, you can allot 3 hours or 4 hours, either continuously or in breakups, either on Friday or on Saturday for revision. It depends. It depends on your own comfort. It depends on your own study style. But Friday and Saturday will be a good choice. But you have to integrate that. Then finally, write tests. After doing daily writing, you have to write weekly tests and then get feedback. And based on the feedback, go to stage 3. Once again, start reading. So this is usually the stages. So what you have to do, you are beginning to prepare for mains examination. This is what the mode, how to start your preparation, right? What is the first thing you have to do? Familiarize yourself. First, that's the first thing you have to do. And the second thing, analyzing previous year question paper. Second thing you have to do. Third thing, make a monthly plan. And when you make a monthly plan, and the fourth, based on the plan, do it. And the next, you have to do daily writing and make sure that weekly revised revision goals, you keep it. And the last, write weekly tests. So all these are integrated into our batch. In our mains batch, all these elements are put into consideration when you have made this batch. Okay. Now we go into the next aspect of our discussion. Analyzing mains question paper. So for our ease of convenience, I have taken paper 3. Okay, let's talk about that. So don't worry about, sir, this is not the subject matter that I'm familiar with. It is not the familiarity that I expect from you now. What I expect from you is sheer amount of attention. So please be attentive and observe. This is the first question. I have taken paper 3, 20 questions in that. I have taken the first question. What I will tell you, something is, I hope everybody is having a mobile phone. So what I will suggest you is, please take your mobile phone and keep with your screen syllabus for paper 3. Take your mobile phone and have with you syllabus for paper 3. So this is the syllabus. Okay. Now This was the question, the first question. Now, I told you analyzing previous year question paper, correct? We are going to do that. We are trying to analyze a question paper. Can anybody tell me what you get out of this? The first question says faster economic growth. Oh. Faster economic growth requires increased share of the manufacturing sector in GDP, particularly of MSMEs. Comment on the present policies of the government in this regard. This is the question. Now you have the syllabus, paper 3 syllabus with you. What do you understand? Okay, let me be more clear. What I will tell you what you have to do. What you have to do is you have to see the question. From this question, you need to see what is the core area of the question. Follow me carefully. You have to choose what is the core area of the question. Then map this core area to the syllabus. So which part of the paper 3 syllabus you can connect to? Economics. But remember, this is where the first stage in mains preparation is required. What I told you, what is the first stage in mains preparation? Familiarizing. When you say economics in paper 3, that won't be enough. That's not good enough. You need to say particularly which topic in economics that is connected to. Yes? உங்களுக்கு புரியுதா என்ன சொல்றேன்னு? Let me repeat it. First, you need to identify what is the core area, core matter of this question. And the core matter அந்த பேப்பர்ல எந்த டாபிக்ல இருக்கு? We are talking about comment on the present policies of the government in this regard. Okay, we are talking about faster economic growth requires increased share of the manufacturing sector in GDP. Yes. So because I want everyone to try this, to practice this, because you are going to do this for the remaining 3 papers. I will try to do this for 20 questions. Don't worry. We will complete the 20 questions now. But you need to become familiar of what you are doing. But that will happen only when you make an attempt and share what you feel. If you keep mum, I cannot understand what you're thinking. See, I need to have an idea what you're thinking. Then I can correct it. Economic growth and development. Okay. Economic growth and development. So where that comes, we're talking about this in the main syllabus. Can you connect this? You understand what I'm saying? Even though when you say from Indian economy until up to this, it's only economy. But out of this all topics, the question can be mapped, can be linked to which part of that? Growth and development, correct? Okay, let's see that. Economic growth in paper 3 and also in paper 2, government policies and intervention. That is a topic given in paper 2. Don't worry, no problem. But what I want to tell you, don't go with paper 2. If you want, you can see that also. But the point what I would like to emphasize here is a particular question may not come from one paper alone. Sometimes they will take a particular content, a particular question that reflects paper 2 or paper 3, or sometimes paper 1 also will be reflective of paper 3. So this crosstalk, it's called as crosstalk. This crosstalk often happens in the UPSC mains papers. So be aware of it. The point is, இதை எங்கெங்கெல்லாம் connect பண்ண முடியும். First thing you did it right. I will try to complete the whole, then I'll come back to the next type of analysis. So first thing what you have to do, you have to take the question, you have to map it to the particular area of the syllabus. Okay, let's do this for the second. Can you do that? Can you do the same thing for second? What is the status of digitalization in the Indian economy? Examine the problems faced in this regard and suggest improvements. This is why I said familiarizing with the syllabus is important. If you are familiarized already, this would be an easy thing. What is the status of digitalization in the Indian economy? See, what I want you to do is not to say what you feel. You have to specifically say which part of the syllabus in paper 3 is connected to this. Or in paper 2, if you want, that's good. Or paper 1, it's good. But at least in paper 3, because this is a paper 3 question, right? Which part of the paper 3 you can connect it to, you have to say. Yes? No, that's what I'm saying. Can you be more clear? Achievements in the Indian economy. Okay. So Indian economy and issues related to planning. Okay. So what is the status of digitalization in the Indian economy? Okay, good. See, last year, India became the largest country with the open payment interface. India is now the largest users of using online payments for their merchant transactions. There are many benefits. It helped in deeper penetration of financial instruments to the common man, even to the poor. But at the same time, it also makes them vulnerable to liquidity crisis. It also makes them vulnerable to cyber frauds. So that was much talked since last year. They asked a question on that. Right? So this is something related to India is the largest UPI based nation in the world. அதை வச்சு தான் இந்த கொஸ்டின் கேட்டிருக்காங்க. But the question, how the question is phrased, they didn't ask about UPI. They asked about what is the status of digitalization in the Indian economy. They generalized. See, when you talk about UPI, it's a specific topic. அது என்ன பண்ணியிருக்காங்க, generalize பண்ணியிருக்காங்க, digitalization and what its impact on the Indian sector. So see that. So when you read any particular news, some information, some major development happens, you may be hoping that that particular important topic will be asked. No. அந்த இடத்துல தான் கேட்பாங்க, ஆனா அதை ஜெனரலைஸ் பண்ணிடுவாங்க. You understand what I'm saying? So உங்களோட மெயின்ஸ் ப்ரிப்பரேஷன் எப்படி இருக்கணும் புரியுதா? You understand how the preparation has to go? You have to read the specific topic, but you also have to see from general point of view how to generalize it. You understand what I'm saying? புரியுதா உங்களுக்கு? இந்த இடத்துல என்ன பண்ணிருக்காங்க, UPI is generalized to digitalization in the Indian economy. Correct? So remember this what I have said. So see how many things that we understand from going through previous year question paper. Oh, they try to generalize topics. Good. But next time when I read for specific issue, I will also understand from this point of view. Okay, what else? Can you say anything else? Technology in paper 3. Okay, technology missions. Okay, technology missions also can be explained, can be put into that. Why I'm saying this is because once you say digitalization, once you say technology mission, answer எழுதும்போது you can talk about digital India mission has been the breaking point in the digitalization of the Indian economy. Answer வருதா? ஒன்னு பண்ண ஆரம்பிச்சா அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்டிங் வரும், அதன் மூலமா ஆன்சர் தானா வருமா? உங்களுக்கு புரியுதா? See the topic that you connect, அந்த டாபிக்ல இருக்கிற பாயிண்ட் உங்களுக்கு ஆட்டோமேட்டிக் ஆன்சர்ல வரும். But that will happen once again என்னன்னா, இது வந்து if I say everything in the beginning itself, you won't understand the process, you become too confused. That's why I want to go slow, one by one. So first thing, familiarize yourself with the syllabus, very important. It's a very simple thing, but very important. Then connect it with the question papers. Okay, you did the technology mission. Okay, let me do my own. Remember, இதுல யார் கரெக்ட் தப்புலாம் கிடையாது. It's only perspectives. Technology mission, I didn't do it, but that also can be connected. The next is awareness in the field of IT. Science and technology level, the awareness in many fields. One such field is information technology. In fact, this is also can be connected to science and technology and also inclusive growth and issues arising from it. Topic irukka inclusive growth. அப்போ என்னன்னா இத இந்த டாபிக் மேட்ச் பண்ணிட்டீங்கன்னா once you match it, அப்போ inclusive growth வழியில திங்க் பண்ணுவீங்க. Your answer will be natural. You understand what I'm saying? புரியுதா உங்களுக்கு? So that is the purpose we are doing it, and there is another secret purpose also. I'll say about it. So this is the syllabus area. This is the question, you linking it. Okay, can you do the same thing for third? How does e-technology help farmers in the production and marketing of agricultural produce? Explain it. See the syllabus. E-technology in the aid of farmers. Very good. It's almost like direct, no? Please pay attention. Yes. Next, can you do the same for 4? State the objectives and measures of land reforms in India. Discuss how land ceiling policy and land holding can be considered as an effective reform under economic criteria. Land reforms in India in paper 3. Can you do the same for 5th question? Please engage yourself. Only when you do it, you will understand it. Introduce a concept of artificial intelligence. How does AI help clinical diagnosis? Do you perceive any threat to privacy of the individual in the use of AI in the healthcare? Science and technology, yes. But also, you can also connect to fundamental rights in paper 2. Paper 2 fundamental rights irka, you can also give a connection to that, right? Paper 2 is also there, but naam enna nenikrom paper 3 questions can be taken only from paper 3 syllabus. Need not be necessary. It can be inspired and it can be potentially connected to many papers. அப்போ ஏன் இதை சொல்றேன்னா இந்த பாசிபிலிட்டி நீங்க மைண்ட்ல புடிச்சிட்டீங்கன்னு வைங்களா, இந்த ஆன்சர் எழுதும் பொழுதே இந்த ஆர்டிகல் 21 இன்டைரக்டா கொண்டு வந்து யூ ஆல்வேஸ் வில் பிரிங் இட் பிகாஸ் யூ லிங்க் இட். இதை நீங்க பண்ணலன்னு வைங்களா, அதை பண்ண மாட்டீங்க. Right? So that. Okay. Now, I have done this for all the 4. I'll go through it very quicker now. Developments and their applications and effects in everyday life in paper 3. That's a syllabus given. You see the paper 3 syllabus. Developments and their applications and effects in everyday life, which is a part of science and technology in mains. Have they given anything about AI explicitly in the syllabus? Is there any direct reference to artificial intelligence in the syllabus? No. Remember, these are all important, crucial things you need to remember. Okay, remember. Okay. Okay, what I will do is, I will try to tell you about this now. Then we'll move on to the rest a little more faster. In the 5 questions that we have discussed so far, there are some which can be directly connected to the topic. It's exactly as given. Yes or no? Yes. This also. But if you see other, they have given economic growth. That is the only link you can make with the question 1. But the question that was particularly asked is only, no, that's a syllabus that I can link to, but it's a wider interpretation of the topic, right? So this is a syllabus ma. இதுல இருந்து இன்டர்பிரேட் பண்ண ஒரு கொஸ்டின் தானே இது. Is it something linked like e-technology in farming? இந்த மாதிரி கேட்கலையே. It is not very directly asked as in the syllabus, right? You understand what I'm saying? ஸோ எப்படி நம்ம அப்போ என்ன புரிஞ்சுக்கிறோம்னா, look at the same thing. Digitalized status of digitalization in Indian economy. This is also not directly given. This is inferred. This is implied. Not explicitly mentioned in the syllabus, but this is explicitly mentioned, directly as given. அப்ப என்ன தெரியுமா பண்ணணும் நீங்க? Let me tell you this. I have seen nobody, I can say that with pride also, I don't know, I searched for it. Nobody have analyzed the syllabus like this, including me. நானே இது வரைக்கும் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் பண்ணதில்லைங்க. When I was trying to explain, because I always believe that not only you guys, I am also learning. What I have learned is how they are picking the syllabus and how they are framing the question. When I try to sit with it, suddenly it struck me there are certain areas where it is directly asked, in certain areas where they tend to generalize, they tend to kind of take that syllabus as an inspiration and ask another area relevant to that. They try to play with the syllabus, but there are certain areas where they are clearly asking only from that. அப்போ யோசிச்சேன், ஓ இப்போ பசங்களுக்கு சிலபஸ் ரெண்டா பிரிச்சிடலாம். பேப்பர் 3 split them into 2 areas were directly asked. If you prepare it and the question comes, you are sure that you are there, sure to answer it. The other areas where it is mostly implied, it is not directly asked. In those areas, you need to have as much general information as possible, because question won't come directly. You see, in this topic, economic growth, can you ever expect a direct question on this? Just think. Can you ever expect a direct question on this? You cannot. So what you have to do is, first you map down the questions and the syllabus, and based on this we will segregate the syllabus into 2 types. One, the areas where the questions are directly framed, the areas where questions are generalized, and your preparation has to switch according to this. For generalized areas, you need to have general preparation. For example, about this, you cannot have a specific preparation. You need to know about AI, you need to know about blockchain, you need to add general information as possible, because directly a question cannot be asked, but here it can be. You get what I'm saying? So this is what you have to do for paper 1, paper 2 and paper 4. Paper 4 will be little difficult. Maybe I will try to do it. If you guys find a difficulty, I will do it for ethics later. So if an ana sollana, okay fine, you don't do for paper 4, you do it for paper 1 and paper 2. Let's continue the same for the rest. Sixth question, discuss several ways in which microorganisms can help in meeting of the current fuel shortage. To which part of the syllabus you can connect? This was 2023 mains question. Biotechnology, what is the full the complete statement? Awareness in the fields of, biotechnology. So remember, when it comes to IT, space, biotechnology things given in the syllabus, questions can never be direct. It's always trying to test you major developments in the recent times. அதுவும் இத பாத்தீங்கன்னா, it is too general a question, it's nothing specific about here. Microorganisms, how it helps in meeting current fuel shortage. Let's do the same. So இப்போ நான் என்ன சொல்றேன், இப்போதைக்கு subject content worry பண்ணாதீங்க. You simply mapping the question with the syllabus, and based on that you divide the syllabus into 2 parts. Second, question number 7. Dam failures are always catastrophic, especially on the downstream side, resulting in a colossal loss of life and property. Analyze the various causes of dam failures. Give 2 examples of large dam failures. The most simplest syllabus in our whole paper 3 is disaster and disaster management. Avladha. But that can also be connected to geographical features and the location in paper 2. The same thing can be connected to paper 2 as well. இப்போ பாருங்க, இந்த டாப் இதுதான் சிலபஸ்ல தந்திருக்காங்க. அப்ப இந்த சிலபஸ் எப்படி படிக்கணும் நீங்க? நான் என்ன சொல்றேன்னா, சிலபஸை வச்சு உங்களோட ப்ரிப்பரேஷன் ஆரம்பிக்கிறீங்க, பட் என்ன படிக்கணும்னு உங்களுக்கு எப்படி தெரியும்? அது எப்படி படிக்கணும்னா, this is the way. You need to know which areas to clearly map out and cover it, and the areas which you need to generalize. So disaster is something like that which you have to generalize. Because you know the topic A. What is soil pollution? What are its impacts on the marine ecosystem? That can be connected to environmental pollution and degradation. That is environment topic in paper 3. That's what given in the syllabus. Winning of hearts and minds in terrorism affected areas is an essential step in restoring the trust of the population. Discuss the measures adopted by the government in this respect as part of the conflict resolution in Jammu and Kashmir. They're talking about winning the hearts and minds in terrorism. Directly, it will not be given as terrorism in the internal security areas in paper 3. In fact, most of the internal security problems given in the syllabus is connected to left-wing extremism, north-eastern insurgency, and Jammu and Kashmir insurgency. இந்த மூணு தான் சொல்லுவாங்க. But these three things, as we know, is not given in the syllabus. அது எதுல கவர் பண்ணணும்னா we have to cover it in what is called as link between development and spread of extremism. This is a reference to insurgency. But in addition, it also refers to how we can use media and social networking sites in winning hearts and minds. So government is now undertaking massive deployment of its human resources in reaching out to people. Even Prahari officers, the main aim is to reach out to the people. So the point is, it can also be connected to role of media and social networking sites in internal security challenges, another topic in paper 3. These two topics can be connected in the one question. ஏன் திரும்பவும் நான் சொல்றேன், ஏன்னா இதை கனெக்ட் பண்ணிட்டீங்கன்னா இதுக்கு ரெலவெண்டான பாயிண்ட் உங்களுக்கு ஆன்சரா வரும். Once you know, once you connect that. The use of unmanned aerial vehicles by our adversaries across the borders to ferry arms and ammunition, drugs, etc. is a serious threat to the internal security. Comment on the measures being taken to tackle this threat. இது என்னென்ன இதோட கனெக்ட் பண்ணுவீங்க in paper 3? Yes. Yes. And also awareness in the field of IT, science and technology topics. Because IT deals with drone management, drones. So that along with border security management. புரியுதா உங்களுக்கு? Fine. The same thing is what I have done for this we have seen, right? Okay. 16th to 20th I have done it. Maybe I'll try to share this PPT also with you, so don't worry about this. And 20 questions. So what I would like to tell you is, based on what I have discussed, for example, you look at the 17th question. For example, you look at the 16th question. It was a question about Chandrayaan 3, which was recently launched and was successful also in its second attempt. Because first attempt was failure. Now second attempt, it's what considered to be success. So this can be covered in the topic of awareness in the field of space. So இதை வச்சு நம்ம என்ன பண்ண போறோம், we are trying to divide the syllabus into two categories. Okay, what I'm going to tell you, I'm going to tell you the map out the paper 3 on what are the general areas, what are the specific areas. So these specific areas you must be very prepared to make notes for that and be prepared, because most often question will be direct. You know this, you write answer very comfortably. மற்ற areas என்ன பண்ணணும், you need to have a generalized preparation, right? So நான் என்ன பண்ண போறேன், first I'm going to highlight the generalized areas. I'm going to highlight that. This whole first one, Indian economy and issues relating to planning, mobilization, resources, growth, development and employment. Never a question will come directly from this. So in the topic எப்படி நீங்க பண்ணனும்னா, you have to have an opinion on these matters. You need to have an opinion. For example, what is the growth trajectory of India? What is the direction it is moving towards? What are the problems that it faces? எல்லாமே மூணு பாயிண்ட் தாங்க. You don't have to know too much. You need to have a general view about this and general opinion about these topics. First one. Second, inclusive growth and issues arising from it. It is also general. Government budgeting. I'm sorry. I'll come back to this. Then moving to the next. Effects of liberalization on the economy, changes in the industrial policy, and their effects on industrial growth. General area. இல்ல ஸ்பெசிஃபிக்கா கேட்கவே முடியாது. It can only be general. Then infrastructure, energy, ports, road, airports, railways, etc. Once again a general area. I would like to emphasize once again, I'm highlighting general areas first. General areas here refers to the part of the syllabus where you cannot pinpoint from where question will come. It's like, like you are in the dark and UPSC can shoot at you at any direction. உங்களுக்கு எங்க இருந்து கேள்வி வரும்னு புரிஞ்சுக்க முடியாது. இந்த இடம் எல்லாமே இந்த டாபிக் எல்லாமே அந்த மாதிரி இருக்கும். எக்கானமி growthன்னு இருக்கும். அதை பேஸ் பண்ணி என்ன கொஸ்டின் வேணா கேட்க முடியும். புரியுதா உங்களுக்கு? So this is like, like you cannot precisely understand from where the question comes. ஏன் இதை நான் சொல்றேன்னா இதை நீங்க புரிஞ்சுக்கிட்டாதான் உங்களோட ப்ரிப்பரேஷன் அந்த டாபிக் அப்படி இருக்கும். யூ cannot read from the ஃபர்ஸ்ட்ல இருந்து கடைசி வரைக்கும் அப்படி படிச்சீங்கன்னா it won't help you. You need to first identify which is very precisely helping you, which will generally help you. அதுக்கேற்ற மாதிரி உங்க ப்ரிப்பரேஷன் மாறணும். So this one is that. Sorry. So I'm giving you list of the topics that falls under general class. Then achievements in science and technology, very general. Never a specific question can come from this. Very general area. This also almost like, almost like the whole science and technology, disaster management fall under general class. That is why students always face a problem in predicting science and technology questions. In preparing for preliminary examination, you might have come across what is called as decomposition, correct? What is decomposition? What is the process? We might have learned about it. Have you ever expected that in mains examination? They asked it in 2022 mains. ஏன்னா அது இந்த ஏரியால வருது. You cannot predict. அதாவது it comes under biotechnology, but you have no idea what question they will ask. That's why I said it's come under general class. அப்போ இந்த இடத்துல எல்லாம் பாத்தீங்கன்னா என்னன்னா you need to have a strong reliance on current affairs. You get what I'm saying? For these kind of areas which is too generalistic, which you cannot predict where the question comes from, you need to rely on current affairs. In the current affairs na உங்களுக்கு அந்த பாயிண்ட் தரும். ஓ Indian economic growth is going in this manner. What are the developments that happens? What the budget says about that? What economic survey projects? Based on that you create an idea, an opinion. That opinion will help you answer that. Okay, so for these areas, current affairs is the key. Current affairs is the key. Without going through current affairs, you cannot answer. Then comes internal security. In the internal security, in fact, this is very generalistic. The first one. Yeah. You can understand what I'm saying here. With this, we come to the end of the syllabus. So internal security, there are these two areas which are generalistic. Let's move to the next. Let's move to specific areas. So what I meant that, so you are dividing the syllabus into two. Okay, you are dividing the syllabus into two: general syllabus areas, specific areas. Your preparation for the general areas should rely on the current affairs and taking comprehensive notes. And for specific areas, any already available material will be good enough. Okay, so what are the specific areas most often? Okay, let me change the color. Okay, I'll do this, underline now. Government budgeting, most often the questions like zero based budgeting, gender neutral budgeting are very direct. You have a notes for this, you get answer. You don't have to think too much, or you don't have to work out too much for these areas. Then this is another area, directly questions will come. So that's what I'm saying. Syllabus familiarize ஆகணும், question paper connect பண்ணணும், மூணாவது syllabus பிரிச்சிடணும். 3 things. You follow? Then you start your preparation according to that. Then you plan, sir, until up to next February, what I can do? Sir, in paper 1, paper 2, paper 3, I will be strong in the specific areas. Or you say, I'll prepare notes for the general areas. It's up to you. You take your own decision according to your abilities or your comfort. But have a plan. First you do this and then have a plan. So this is a next very specific area. It goes with this also. For example, even here, in this year, there was a question on this. I'll give an example for that. You see this question? See this question? What are the direct and indirect subsidies provided to farm sector in India? Discuss the issues raised by WTO in relation to agriculture subsidies, right? This is a question, correct? This is the syllabus. Direct. But you took a look at that microbes used for meeting fuel shortage that is connected to biotechnology. இது எங்க இருக்கு, அது எங்க இருக்கு? புரியுதா உங்களுக்கு? So that's the next thing. Then food processing, once again directly connected. Land reforms, very specific area. Even 2023 we had a question directly, right? We saw the one question, right? ஞாபகம் இருக்குங்களா? We saw one question directly from land reforms. Investment models also very direct. There is nothing much to twist there or to make you to analyze too deeper. No, it's very direct. Investment models, PPP models. Now we are talking about 4P models, 3P models, 4P models. Very direct. Then role of external state and non-state actors in creating challenges. This is an area which I'm kind of gray area, I will say. Questions can come either directly or it may be inferred also. So that is the reason I've included in specific preparation plan, because once in specific preparation, for example, role of external state and non-state actors, role of Pakistan, what they do, role of China, what they do, role of Bangladesh, what they do. Have a specific preparation for that. Then even if they ask a general question, you can answer. So that's why I'm including this in a specific preparation plan. Then challenges to internal security through communication networks, direct. Basics of cyber security, they even asked about different cyber threats that an organization may face. Virus, spams, Trojan horses. There was a question on a very simple aspect as that. So basics of cyber security is very direct area question can be asked. Then money laundering, this is also very direct area. Security challenges and their management in border areas. This is kind of little gray, once again, very gray area. Why I say? Because even 2023 mains paper, we have seen it may be connected to IT sector also. Because it can be interconnected to other areas, it's kind of little dicey, little gray, but still I can call it as a direct preparation will help you. Then linkages of organized crime with terrorism, a direct area, and various security forces and their and agencies and their mandate. For example, in the question நீங்க பாத்தீங்கன்னா see this question. Question number 19. What are the internal security challenges faced by India given the role of central intelligence and investigative agencies tasked to counter such threat? Directly asked. You see the syllabus? Various security forces and agencies and their mandate. Direct. So I would say the one which are highlighted or the areas where UPSC tend to generalize their questions, that which have been underlined is where the UPSC asks directly from the syllabus. இது எப்படி நீங்க பண்ணணும்னா சிலபஸ் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஃபெமிலியரைஸ் வச்சுக்கிட்டு கொஸ்டின் பேப்பர் எடுத்துட்டு ஃபர்ஸ்ட் மேப் அவுட் பண்ணுங்க எந்த பார்ட்டோட கனெக்ட் ஆகுது மேப் பண்ணிட்ட அப்புறமா ஆஃப்டர் தட் யூ see the area given in the syllabus and how the question is framed. Is it directly connected or very inferred, very too much generalization that has been done? Then you will come to a point, oh no, this is a general area. Then you need to prepare according to that. For example, ROP Act irukku, paper 2 la, that is specific area. Question will be direct. You get it? So you have to do this for paper 1, paper 2. Paper 4 I have done all, I prepared, but I feel it will be too overloaded. That's why I stopped it. I wanted to do it only for paper 3 to make you understand what the process is. So you do this for paper 1 and paper 2 and you come up. We'll later have a discussion. Probably ethics, we will have a batch that will starting. At that time, I will come up with this. Analysis for paper 4. புரியுதா உங்களுக்கு? Okay, good. Any doubts or anything that you guys need to be clarified? Okay. So the next is, from what we have discussed so far, what are the key takeaways? Now you have some idea about mains preparation. என்ன பண்ணணும் தெரியுதுங்களா? Mains preparation எப்படி approach பண்ணணும்? First என்ன பண்ணணும்? Syllabus. Second, preparing, analyzing previous year question paper. Third, making a plan, possibly with a particular targets, monthly target வைங்க. And then do the study. And then integrate your writing and evaluation and repeat it again. Third la irundhu thirumba once again study, once again continue the same thing with every targets, every weeks. So this is more like, you know, I would like to kind of simplifying this. இதுதான் நம்ம பார்த்திருக்கோம். This is what we have discussed so far, correct? Then sir, when to start writing, sir? There is nothing called as a good time or bad time. The moment you start an activity towards your dream, that's a good time. The time that you postpone doing a good action is a bad time. So whether you start or not is what important, not the task itself, not the time itself. So இப்போ என்ன பார்க்கலாம்னா, sir, writing answer அப்படின்னும் போது I wanted to give you how an answer looks like. I have taken a model answer uploaded by one institute. I have no other choice. I have to go with that institute. Don't worry about this. நான் சொல்லனாலும் உங்களுக்கு இது தெரியும், நீங்க பார்த்திருப்பீங்க. So there is nothing to hide. Okay, so let us be honest with this. We want to learn, அவ்வளவுதான். ஏற்கனவே சொன்னேன் இல்லையா, everything is fair in love and war. Everything, all is fair. நம்ம win பண்ணணும். That's what the only thing that we should have in our mind. So Ishita Kishonu, she was a topper, right? So அவங்களோட ஆன்சர் பேப்பர் எடுத்து நம்ம பார்க்கலாம், அவங்க ஆன்சர் எப்படி எழுதி இருக்காங்க, how she approached the answer நம்ம பார்க்கலாம். Once again, it's not about the content, it's about how she approached the answer. Let's see that. Probably you should know. Okay, So this was the answer. Maybe the words may be a little blurred. The first question goes like this. For various considerations, I'm blocking that. Okay. The various archaeological evidences paint a rich picture of the social, economic, and religious life of the Harappan people discussed. This was the question. Once again, read the question again. The various, நான் சொல்றத கொஞ்சம் observe பண்ணுங்க. Like you observed the last one, it was very nice. Observe this. I'm reading it once again. The various archaeological evidences paint a rich picture of the social, economic, and religious life of the Harappan people. நிறைய பேர் இதோட question நிறுத்திடுவாங்க. No, discuss. Sometimes question will say comment. Sometimes question will say describe, elucidate. Sir, answer மாத்திட்டே இருக்கணுமா? Let me tell you one simple thing. There are only two kind of answer style that you have to adopt. Anything, let it be anything, comment or analyze or describe or discuss, doesn't matter. Critically மட்டும் வரணும். Critically discuss, critically analyze, okay, or only analyze. These are the two styles that you need to keep in mind. What the question says. If the question simply says discuss, follow the standard format. What we are going to discuss. If it says critically analyze, what you have to do is, what is the argument given in the question? What is the argument given in the question? Then you have to give two sides of the argument. Speak for it, speak against it, and then give a judgment at the end. This is what you have to follow if it's a question that comes with critical word. Critically analyze, critically comment, critically discuss. Whenever the word critical comes, unga answer la critically means something like this, you become an advocate and you become a judge. You have to play the role of an advocate and also the judge. அப்போ ரெண்டு சைடும் சொல்லணும். And then you have to come with the judgment on your own. It seems like like you're taking a position of a neutral person. Hey, நீ என்ன சொல்ற சொல்லு, நீ என்ன சொல்ற சொல்லு, இதை நான் கடைசியில சொல்றேன். That's what critical means. Critical reviews, what they say, critical reviews, they hear the aspects of all and they present their opinion, correct? So whenever question comes something like this, very literally, do not try to change your style. Before 5-6 years, I would say different, because every word has a different meaning. When I say enumerate, enumerate means list out, means number, enumerate. You have to answer right like 1, 2, 3, 4. In the enumerateக்கு வந்து paragraph எழுதுனீங்கன்னா that doesn't suit to the question. If it's discuss, you have to take only what is given in the question. You don't have to go away from it. You say analyze, you have to break the question into parts and discuss. But இது இவ்வளவு complicated இப்ப தேவையில்லை. But I would say differently. I was saying differently before 4-5 years. But now the horizon have changed. It is not the same anymore. So to simplify that, I will say two things. Non-critical questions, critical questions. Non-critical questions, follow the usual method. Critical questions, always follow the method what I have told you, right? As simple as that. So இதை ஞாபகம் வச்சுக்கோங்க when you write answers. So the various archaeological evidences paint a rich picture of the social, economic, and religious life of the Harappan people discussed. What she has done, she has written an introduction. And the introduction in a format, it is in the paragraph format. How many statements? Only one statement. It is not too short, it is not too lengthy. These are the crucial things you can understand. ஒரே statement தானே? There is not like a 2 or 3 statements, but it's in paragraph format. And see how the answer continues. It continues in now kind of bulletin format. So introduction comes like that, and then the body of the answer goes in the bulletin format. See, the subtopics are underlined, and whenever any part of the answer she felt important, she underlined that also. And finally, coming to the conclusion, 2 statement, but it is in paragraph style. புரியுதா உங்களுக்கு? ஒரு ஆன்சர் எப்படி, அதான் நான் உள்ள கண்டென்ட் எல்லாம் வேணாம், ஒரு ஸ்ட்ரக்சரை நம்ம பார்த்துக்கலாம். ஓகே, லெட்ஸ் கோ வித் தி செகண்ட் ஒன். ஒன் செகண்ட் ஃபார் ஆப்வியஸ் ரீசன்ஸ். உங்களுக்குலாம் புரியாதுப்பா, விடுங்க. சம்டைம்ஸ் நம்ம என்ன சொல்றேன்னு கவனிக்க மாட்டேங்கிறீங்க. ஃபார் ஆப்வியஸ் ரீசன்ஸ் ஐ அம் டூயிங் சம்திங். ஓகே ஓகே, செகண்ட். Contradicting the doomsayers of idea of India as a nation, India has exhibited a successful experiment in democracy. Comment. Don't worry, it's a little complicated question, no problem. But if the question patti worry பண்ணாதீங்க. See, okay, probably we'll try to see that. Contradicting the doomsayers of idea of India as a nation, because after 1947, India thought, many world countries thought, it's a nation of brutals, uncivilized, uncouth people who are bound to go into the graveyards of nations who can't see the light of the day. But in fact, we have gone beyond our wildest dreams and now considered to be the largest working democracy. Not just a democracy, working democracy, real democracy in the world. So, contradicting the doomsayers, adana idea solranga. Idea of India as a nation, India has exhibited a successful experiment in democracy. Comment. Now see how she started it. On the eve of independence, there was widespread belief that India's democratic experiment will fail, leading to balkanization of the country. That's what she started. So, question என்ன கேட்டாங்க, அவங்க இன்ட்ரோடக்ஷன் எப்படி அப்ரோச் பண்ணிருக்காங்க, think about it. I will try to share this also with you. So, கொஸ்டின்ல இருக்கிற அந்த டாபிக்குக்கும் இவங்க எடுக்கிற இன்ட்ரோடக்ஷனுக்கும் எப்படி நரேட்டிவ் கனெக்ட் ஆகுது. We will try to do the same thing. See, and then see this one thing. Now there is a small change. There's a use of picture. Conditions in 1947. She has brought many dimensions. Then once again the bulletin format starts. Same like earlier. And in the conclusion, once again, a kind of a picture-like thing comes in the end, but once again paragraph. So you should not, like, you always have to write to complete an answer. You can also draw for an answer. You can draw pictures like this. You can draw flow charts. Familiarize yourself with India map. Very important. Particularly when it comes to geography, even paper 1. You know, daily சும்மா உட்கார்ந்துருக்கீங்களா, இந்தியா மேப்பை போட்டு பழகுங்க. Very quickly that you need to make. That will help a lot. ஏன்னா சம்டைம்ஸ் நான் இந்தியா மேப் போட்டேன்னு வைங்களா, காஜு கத்லி மாதிரி இருக்கும். You know Kaju Katli sweet? It will be like a Kaju Katli sweet. So I don't go there, that's why. புரியுதா உங்களுக்கு? So இந்த இதுல okay, maybe as you write and you come for the feedback, we will have a discussion more on this nuances. But what are the parts? ஒரு ஆன்சர்ல என்ன இருக்குன்றத first you have an idea. Introduction. So these are the three things, the three important parts of an answer. Introduction. So introduction always should be in the paragraph style. Remember, introduction always should be in a paragraph style. Okay. And it should not be more than 3 statements. You cannot write introduction as an answer. It can be either 2 statements max or 3 statements, not more than that. Then comes the body. This is where your actual answer comes. Question la ketadukku actual answer you are going to do only here. Introduction you are giving kind of a brief into that issue. Then do not be very monotonous in your answers. Or answer oru format la pannirukeenga, next answer bring some diversity. Idella ஞாபகம் வெச்சுக்கணும். ஏனா because you need to practice all this in your answer writing. You need to use pictures, flow charts, maps, tables. And then usually, because of the time limit that you have, 3 hours like 20 questions because you need to complete that. Usually for the body of the answer, bulletin style with the subtopics is generally recommended. As a general recommendation, use bulletin style with the subtopics. Then conclusion. So conclusion, what to write? You have to write what is the aim of the question. The question would have been asked with some aim. அதாவது introduction should be a brief about the problem, conclusion should be about the aim plus any suggestions or learnings from the question logic. They must be asking something. You try to see what's a lesson that has been learned, or you try to provide a way out of it. You provide some solutions, you provide some suggestions that constitutes a conclusion. So these are the three parts that an answer should have. And the style is also more or less standardized. இதுல நீங்க tweak பண்றதுக்கு ஒண்ணுமே கிடையாது. இது sir, in body, I don't know how to write bulletin, sir. I don't know how to write numbering, sir. I'm usually used to write only paragraph. Is it wrong? Nothing wrong. The problem என்னன்னா you cannot complete within the time. 20 questions 3 hours முடிக்க முடியாம போகும். That is why they all switch to this bulletin format. So if you think you can complete within the time frame, well and nice. But try that. ஒரு question bulletin எழுதுங்க, ஒரு question paragraph எழுதுங்க. Try to see which works. Provided you do it fairly good enough. So whatever that we have discussed so far is actually the part of our mains batch. It is a precise timetable because every class has been precisely designed according to the schedule that you have until up to January. And then there is also consolidated presentation slides that we take in the class, and also the material given to you to study, and also daily questions with the model answer, which is aimed to progressive skill building of you aspirants, and then weekly tests that aims to gear towards feedback and evaluation requirements for this preparation, and lastly a dedicated mentor for each student to monitor your progress well, particularly in this phase. So this is what we aim to deliver through this course. So what are the summary I will say? This is most important thing to understand what UPSC actually demands from you. We have discussed about this, right? Then mains preparation tips. No, it's going somewhere. Okay. No. Okay. So then I told you to do this homework. So please do this for paper 1 and paper 2. Okay. It doesn't work. I tried to do something different. I tried. It's called a summary, but it's not working. Fine. Okay. So I think that I have covered what I intended to convey to you guys in terms of orientation towards the mains preparation. The fine tuning and the fine details into this preparation will come along with the classes. Okay, don't worry about this finer details and the finer prints. You need to have broader idea of what you're going to do in the next 4 months. So that I hope that I've given to you. Probably you may be having your own ideas of preparation, or most of you may not have any idea. It doesn't matter. Maybe this would have given you the idea that you guys required. Some of you may be having some clarifications. Is there any doubts, any clarification that you guys need? I'm ready to do it here. So what I suggest you is, when you come for the next class, probably take your time 2 or 3 days. You take no problem, 2 or 3 days max. You do that connecting the question paper 1 and paper 2 of 2023 to the syllabus, and based on that you segregate the topic into 2 areas: specific areas, general areas. Can you do that in next 2 to 3 days? Our students who joined our batch, can you please prepare it and submit to us? Okay, so it's something like, more like this is maybe in Zen Buddhism there is something called as one hand clap. Zen Buddhism will give a lot of stories, not to think rationally. They always want you to think irrationally out of your mind. They always design stories like that. One hand clap, how is it possible? How can there be a clap with one hand? That's not possible. But that's what you think, that's what they require. But in UPSC preparation, it's a 2-hand clap. One hand clap is maybe possible in Zen Buddhism, but not here. So one hand is we and other hand is you guys. So only when this both together that a sound can be produced. So we We will help you, provided you help yourself. Okay, so take 2 to 3 days, come back with that plan, and probably any plan that you guys have for the next 4 months. Prepare a plan in terms of monthly targets, and you come back to us. Any mentors that you guys prefer, that's open to you. We will assign one mentor particularly, but you can also feel free to meet your mentor that of your choice. But take 2 to 3 days and come back with a plan, right? So this should be like a collaborative action, not a coercive action. Okay, it must be voluntary, because all these are geared for you guys. Okay, so keep that in mind, and I hope that the next 4 months of preparation, that we have just come out of the honeymoon phase. We are entering into a kind of a lag phase. This is called as lag phase, where everything slows down, where everything becomes distracted. Now this is a time to get back to the preparation mode, to get back into the racing mode, right? So let's use this opportunity and make sure that we do what is required to give our best in the next mains examination. With no further questions, I take this opportunity to take a leave from you. My best wishes, guys. See you all later.